When you first are introduced to Auckland and play for Auckland, you're well aware of the rivalry. You know, it's over a century old, and it's sort of been up and down with both sides having some periods of dominance, but mostly there've been a lot of tight encounters. So yeah, a big rivalry that you're well aware of when you first start. Well, there's two in particular. I remember going down in '83 for the Shield game where we got smashed, and so I tend to remember the games you get beaten more than you win. That was sort of still in our minds 2 years later when we went down in '85 and won the Shield. And times were a bit different then. I mean, the game was amateur. There was no Super Rugby, so this was sort of the pinnacle of provincial rugby. 50,000 people in the park that day, but we regularly used to play in front of 30,000 people. Be it down there or up here. So just different times. So there's a lot of history to it. And I guess in a way, if you go back a long time, it might have started because they were sort of classed the heavyweights of each island. And other teams have dominated too at times as well that are not Auckland and Canterbury and in the respective islands. But I think that was probably a big part of it. A lot of big Ranfurly Shield tussles going back decades. They had a great Ranfurly Shield record. We established a very long tenure. Once we got it off them in '85. So I think the history's got a really big part to play in that. It's a week you're preparing for Canterbury and the coaches don't need to do a lot in terms of turning the motivational screws. It's all about the strategy that week, and look, it's vice versa for them as well. It may not have the profile in terms of the crowd numbers or maybe the TV audience, but for the playing group of both sides, it means just as much, that traditional rivalry. Canterbury have fashioned a remarkable record in the last few years. I mean, 5 championships in a row is incredible. Auckland did it 4 years in a row a couple of times in relatively recent times. And by that I mean the last 20 years or so. But for Canterbury to do it 5 in a row is a great record. Huge amount of respect for each other because at the end of the day, no matter who won, it had been a big battle.